Hey folks, welcome to another phone comparison video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Droid Razr versus the recently announced Droid Razr Maxx. Now they are very similar phones, I'll just tell you that right now, but there are a couple differences that you're probably going to want to know about. So let's jump right in and do it. Just to let you know, the Droid Razr Maxx is the one on the right hand side, and the Droid Razr, the original one, is the one in white in the bottom left hand corner of your screen. Alright, like I said, they're very similar. In a lot of ways they are virtually the same phone. They both have 4G LTE. They are both 1.2 gigahertz dual core processors, have the Smart Actions app, a gig of RAM, 16 gigabytes of internal memory. Both have a 16 gigabyte micro SD slot, and depending on the price, that'll be included. For example, in the Droid Razr Maxx, that's included, but we'll get to that in the price section. 4.3-inch Super AMOLED screens, and an 8 megapixel rear camera and a front-facing camera for video chatting. So, not a lot in terms of guts. The real big difference is the battery. All right, the Droid Razr Maxx has a 3300 milliamp hour battery, giving it 21 hours of talk, 15 hours of video playback, and 2 days of continuous music. All right, this beats even the vaunted iPhone's battery life. So that's really the thing. It's the best of any phone, any smartphone at the moment, as far as I know, especially for Android phones, which tend not to have very good battery life, and it's really been killing the LTE phones because that LTE antenna sucks up juice. So they just went and shoved a huge battery in there to really give it, so it lasts you a full day, which is I think what we all want. So 2 days of continuous music playback, that 15 hours of video playback, that's the kind of stuff we want. The battery in the original Droid Razr never was viewed very favorably. Has a 1780 milliamp hour with 12.5 hours of talk, but most people really don't get that much use out of it when it's actually running. They get 5 or 6 hours tops of typical continuous use. So the Maxx this is the big calling card of the new Droid Razr Maxx. To make these differences though, the size and weight has changed slightly. All right, the Maxx is heavier. It's 5.1 ounces versus 4.48 ounces of the original, and it's a little bit thicker. Okay, 0.35 inches thick versus 0.28, or 8.99 millimeters versus 7.1 millimeters for those of you who use the metric system like the United States should, but we don't. All right, for colors, any color you want, as long as it's black. That's the Droid Razr Maxx for colors. Comes in black, that's what I'm saying. The Droid Razr has a few new colors that they've introduced in addition to the black. In the picture you can see the white version there, and there's also a purple version. I'm partial to the white version myself, but if you want all the enhanced features that come with the new one, black it is. You can always get a colored case to go over it if you don't like the standard color. As far as price goes, $299, which was the original price of both phones, and this is with a 2-year contract, by the way, of course. You get the 32 gigabyte version of the phone. All right, if you want the original Droid Razr, you can get it for $199 now from Verizon, and that's the 16 gigabyte version. That means it has 16 gigabytes of internal memory, but does not include that micro SD card. The slot is still there, so you can still buy that 16 gigabyte card. They're not very expensive. But it's not included any longer, so that's just one thing to keep in mind. So that's really the only differences there. There's, like I said, they're very, very much the similar phones. The big calling card is the new, bigger, longer battery. So if you're interested in getting one, head on over to gpsmaestro.com/razr. That's R-A-Z-R. And you can get at least a 30% discount on the phone. Sometimes it's more. Once in a while it's a little bit less, and that's only for new service. We can get you a discount if you're just upgrading and you're in your service window. It just won't be as big. Usually it's enough to make it worth doing, but it's not the huge 30% or almost $100 off. So there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching, and be sure to come to gpsmaestro.com for all your smartphone needs. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.